So here is a very simple shed, a basic squared shed. But in this case right here, right on the spot, you can see that, I've got my quotation here down the right-hand side corner here, and I've got my engineering analysis here. So the cool thing about Shedmate is right off the bat, you can see here that we've got several engineering options for this shed specifically. So the thing is, if you're doing like a shed that is, a pin based or partially pinned, or welded, which is, fixed column base and stuff like that, we can all adapt to this changes that you have, or these nuances that you have. So some people prefer to casting, brackets. Some people prefer to bolt them. Some people prefer to weld them. And we provide all these options for you, and all the engineering specifically for these options, because, make no mistake, there's a lot of nuances that can change engineering quite a bit, and the frames and the footings, all these things can shift around based on your decisions. And, sometimes your decisions will be important to, bring that price down or elevate the quality of the shed. A shed on a coastline is completely different in
Yeah.
the one that is a storage in middle of Melbourne, for instance, right? There's quite a lot of more shielding there. There's quite a lot of more, protections against the wind than the coastline does. So there's these nuances and these changes that we provide here, and we provide it in a way that it's not just, here is a shed in Melbourne, here's a shed in the coastline. No, we actually do a lot of further adjustments to, how you fabricate each of those sheds, and provide you with the flexibility to choose the best one possible to your specific scenario. So right off the bat here, we can see that there's some, double up options. There's some options with knee bracings. We can sometimes it can reduce the size of the portals and stiffen, harden the foundation of the shed, or the global movement of the shed quite a bit. So that helps for you to decide. And you can see right away here, if I change anything in here, just like clicking in here, and you watch this number here, this number will change depending on, the options you choose there for engineering, right? And not only that, you can also, within that engineering, be flexible and say, hey, that type of frame is not really readily available for me on my region. I can change this around, and Shedmate can say, okay, let me readjust this to better suit your needs. So that's where, our system really shines. There's a business value here that you can get to your point of sales, your sales personnel, and they can have all this flexibility without needing to go into the nitty gritty of the engineering. You just click buttons, choose options, and there you go, right? There you go. So that's where, Shedmate is really, really valuable there. And of course, you can change, the size of the shed on the spot, and you can see the numbers here changing, just like that. So you can provide a lot of value to your customers there, and see this here as well. This is updated now with the new engineering, right? Just changing a span of the shed provides you a completely, different set of opportunities there to have those conversations with your customer, in seeking what they are more targeting towards. So if they are targeting towards, hey, I really need a big shed for like my farmland or something, or I need a small shed and I'm really cost sensitive here. So you can have those conversations with your customer, having your price and your engineering context, which is, unheard of.
Yeah, yeah. And that.
Um, if you say, hey, Tiago, I've got my own engineers here, and I've got my own engineering rules that I don't want to replace, I want to stick with them, but I want to use Shedmate. We've got you covered. With all this system here that we provide the engineering automatically for your company, we can also we do have plans to, this is right now in Shedmate, this is already supported. You can input your own engineering rules, and your engineering rules will of course work on your company specifically, right? There's like a sandbox environment that only your company has access to that engineering, or their engineering list. and your engineers can input their own rules.
Yeah.
So the thing is, Shedmate is so flexible that if you want to use your own engineering, this system right here is going to work exactly the same, but with your engineering rules, right? So your engineers can provide that input for Shedmate, and Shedmate can use that input to provide value to your sales personnel, your site crews, and everything like that. So we've got
Yeah.
everything covered there.